Everybody, welcome back. We're sitting with Senior Producer Aaron Campbell again. We've got some more of your questions, this time about how warbands work. So before we get into that, though, I just want to address one of the more interesting pieces of feedback we got from the last video. Everyone was very concerned about Aaron's monitors on his desk.
I just want to give all the money to the engineers. Let them run with it, but okay.
We've actually threatened him that we're going to order him new monitors whether he wants them or not. So in the meantime, we found the biggest one we could find for this video, so maybe we don't have as many comments about monitors this time around. So let's talk warbands. Aaron, what's a warband? On the surface, it sounds kind of simple, right? A band of mobs.
Sure. I think there are a lot of pieces to it, and so we'll kind of break those out and talk about them. I think the best way I've heard it described so far by our designers is we're really taking rare mobs up to the next level. So we're saying, okay, you're used to these rare, creatures out there, usually elites with special abilities, shard droppers. They have some kind of special reward you get from finding them. We're going to say, great, let's take those and let them roam across really broad distances. So they're covering much bigger geography. And then let's make it more of a group mechanic. So we're going to actually put them out on your map so you can see where they are and ride out to challenge them.
So these things, I'm not going to come riding over a hill and just get ganked by a mob that's sitting there. I'm going to get some warning, right? I'll know they're coming.
You'll get a little warning. I mean, I think you still have nightmares from Chetwood, but
yes, I do.
But the part of what happens as you approach one of these is you're going to get a quest remotely that basically says, hey, challenge this group, take them on and defeat them, and you're going to get a special quest reward, right? And this could be scaled. These creatures can be from solo challenges all the way up to full fellowship, or we're even discussing some raid challenges out on landscape there.
Outstanding. Now, you say, I'm going to get a reward, but I know one of the things that we're doing with warbands is we're introducing a concept of open tapping. Now, currently, if somebody helps me out on landscape when I'm fighting something, I actually get a penalty. Is that still going to carry over? How's open tapping going to work?
Part of the idea here is we don't want to penalize you for assisting other players, and especially in mounted combat, which is so mobile, and this kind of mechanic that we really want to be broadly accessible to people. We want people to be able to see it on the map, ride out, not worrying about other people already being in play there and jump in. So if you see a warband that's already engaged, the open tapping just means you can take on that quest and still get credit for defeating it, and you're not going to be penalized for that. Now, certainly working in a full fellowship still works better. You're going to be stronger because you can share the buffs of your different steed types that have these sort of herd bonuses, right, of working together, and the class bonuses as well. And you don't get all those extra bonuses if you're kind of casually grouping, right, if you're fighting against the same group but aren't formally grouped.
Okay, so it sounds like when I come over the hill and I see somebody in trouble and I help them out, I'm actually helping them out now. I'm not actually hurting them in any way, and I'm going to get benefits too. But it sounds like if I actually get into a group with that person, we'll both benefit even more.
Even more,
is that right?
Exactly.
Outstanding. So as we're going through the concept of warbands, I see we've got some new AI types for our mobs. So what happens if I get a couple of different mobs in a warband that have different AI types?
Sure.
How do they function in a warband? Is it going to work like a warg pack? Are they going to hunt as a pack, or are they going to function a little differently than standard?
I think the best approximation for us is to think about our instance spaces now, where we have these scripted groups. They share some aggression, right? They work together, but they have definitely different skill sets and different behaviors. So you're going to have, perhaps a mixed pack of goblins, for example, and there'll be some jousters coming in close, and a shaman throwing heals and debuffs, and some, big bruiser in the middle who is just going to, crush people who get into close range. All those things will work together much in the way they do now, only they're out on landscape, they're out in a more unified way.
So it sounds like you're going to have to kind of think about a warband as you approach it and it approaches you. And it sounds like it's going to be really kind of a dynamic sort of encounter, and every encounter is going to be a little different.
We want to make landscape more dynamic. We want to make it more interesting. These are all rares, special snowflakes in their own right, so they're going to have their own behaviors, some specialized abilities. We're pretty excited about it. And I don't want to give the wrong impression by the word warband, right? The inspiration for this is certainly sort of the roving packs of orcs who are marauding and destroying parts of Rohan right now. And actually, King Theoden has said we can't hunt them, right? Orcs are taboo to kill. But the reality of what warbands are going to be could be quite varied, and it's really limited to the designer's creativity. So we can have loose groups, for example, a warg pack, right, with a central alpha. We can have more formalized Uruk or Goblin packs with a hierarchy and formations. And we can have solo mobs that are just, this big nasty troll that's out there waiting to bash you in.
Wow, that sounds great. It sounds like warbands are a lot more than just the name would lead one to believe. And it sounds like a really great system that I'm sure players can't wait to get a handle on. And I thank you for your time, and I thank everybody for watching and listening and submitting some great questions, and keep them coming. And as long as you're asking questions, we'll keep giving answers.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.